Hi everyone. Welcome to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. All the details are in our video. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe and share so you never miss a moment from us. Thank you so much. Things have not been steady for some time between Akın Akinozu and Ebru Şahin. One of the most talked about duos in recent years, the pair reportedly stepped back from their relationship roughly 2 weeks ago, and the whispers haven't quieted since. People close to them point to overlapping call times, long nights, and a pace that would wear down even the strongest hearts. Their conversations, we hear, have become careful and minimal, like they were trying not to touch a bruise. Ebru's solo appearances after set days and the composed tone in her posts have thrown sparks onto the gossip fire. Her account, once sprinkled with small gestures that fans love to decode, has gone almost meditative in the last 10 days. The absence is loud. And yet, neither has hit the unfollow button. That tiny digital thread has everyone saying the same thing: maybe this isn't the final goodbye, but a deliberate pause for breath. Akın, on the other hand, seems to be building a wall of work around himself. He's said to be spending every spare hour on set or in transit, opting for quiet rooms and early call sheets over social dinners and industry chatter. People in his circle describe a man who recognizes there's a wobble in the foundation but refuses to let strangers peer through the cracks. A friend close to both summed it up in a few softly spoken words: they're sensitive, deeply emotional, and when they hurt, they prefer silence to spectacle. They need to talk, yes, but right now they are honoring distance. No one can pinpoint the exact moment a seemingly steady romance began to drift, especially one that looked so radiant at the start of summer. Some cite the demands of ongoing projects, others hint at subtle incompatibilities that become sharper under pressure. With both of them keeping their lips sealed, the rumor mill keeps turning without a map, fueled by fragments and late-night speculations. Those around Ebru insist she is holding steady, carving out time for herself with a calmness that reads as resolve rather than detachment. She's been photographed arriving alone to a couple of quiet functions, slipping in and out with understated grace, letting the night wash over her without offering anything back to the cameras. Each appearance has stirred the same chorus: maybe her single chapter has begun. Meanwhile, comment sections divide like fault lines. One side hopes for a reunion, pointing out how strong and rare their bond seemed when everything aligned. The other side believes that a pause, even a painful one, may be the healthiest decision. For now, without a real statement, the story lives in that murky space where feelings and guesses blur. Everyone is watching, waiting for them to either break their silence or let it stretch longer. Is this the end, or is it a breath held right before they try again? Behind the scenes, the noise has only grown louder. Tabloids have seized upon every unread caption and every carefully cropped photo. Ebru, rumored to be on her own for about 2 weeks, has chosen the most eloquent response: no response at all. Each day of quiet seems to magnify curiosity. Leaks from people who say they know the rhythm of their days mention shifting call sheets, sudden night shoots, and the ache for personal space building like a storm that both could feel coming. That ache, they say, made old tension impossible to ignore. When Ebru appeared solo at recent invites and sounded more reserved online, her followers read it as a door easing shut while a new one creaked open. Some commentators went further, praising her poise and self-command as a sign that she's facing this chapter with grace. The absence of joint appearances has become its own storyline. No shared frames, no tandem interviews, no playful exchanges across timelines. For some, that silence is a confession. But Akın's behavior mirrors Ebru's in one essential way: he has not added clarity. The actor has kept press at arm's length, friends at a polite distance, and his schedule stacked. The hours are long, the expressions stay neutral. Those who claim insight describe a pair trying to weigh their history against their present realities. There are notes left unsung, topics they didn't finish, questions that deserve more than hurried calls between scenes. And so, they've granted themselves time. Fragile and thoughtful, it's a phase that resists tidy labels. Why did things reach this edge? The prevailing explanation keeps circling back to the same point: they simply could not find enough hours together. Add two ambitious personalities and two careers climbing fast, and the friction is no surprise. Still, without their voices, everything remains speculation dressed up as certainty. Their relationship has become the headline of the season, the question everyone feels invited to answer. Did they separate nearly 2 weeks ago, or did they redefine boundaries to protect what's left? The rumor that a break occurred spread like dye through water, staining timelines and talk shows and hours. People close to them insist nothing about it was impulsive. The stress had been rising, the pace had been relentless, the desire to catch their breath had been quietly requested for months. Ebru's solo steps through crowded rooms, her gentle but distant captions, and the way she holds herself still as flashbulbs pop, these are the brushstrokes shaping the current image. Calm. Deliberate. Private. Fans interpret the distance as a beginning, not an ending, or at least as a necessary middle chapter that must be crossed before any decision can be trusted. The same stillness wraps around Akın. He, too, has narrowed his circle for now, choosing the safety of early mornings and late pages over public nights and familiar hangouts. People who care for him say he is thinking carefully and refusing to rush. The fact that neither has cut the other off online has kept hope alive. That simple fact is discussed endlessly. If they were done, why keep even a thread? The reply echoed by sources is always soft, because love does not vanish on command. They care, but they are giving space. Time, they believe, will reveal the shape of what remains. In the absence of a single clear reason, the list of maybes keeps growing, though the most believable explanation is still the simplest: there was not enough time to nurture what they were building. Their personalities, as celebrated as their work, can sometimes collide with the logistics of a high-demand life. When two people are in the thick of major projects, even tenderness becomes scheduled. Messages get shorter. Calls get postponed. Dates move from dinners to quick coffee in trailers, and even those get bumped by a last-minute rewrite. Friends say neither of them liked that version of their love, compressed, rushed, easily interrupted. Over time, public victories felt strangely distant because the private moments needed to anchor them were slipping away. And just as careers surge, every little misunderstanding seems bigger, every compromise harder to hold. None of this is dramatic, but it is real, and it wears on people who value depth and presence. It's worth noting how both have guarded each other's dignity throughout this uncertainty. No cryptic jabs, no pointed lyrics, no clever unfollows to stir a reaction. If anything, they have protected one another's image while retreating to figure things out. Their silence, though frustrating for spectators, is a kind of respect. It keeps the story from turning into theater. The few voices around them who are willing to speak do so in careful tones. They are weighing everything. There are conversations that must be had without microphones listening. There are memories that deserve the courtesy of privacy. And there is a future, together or apart, that neither will choose casually. The city has started to read signs everywhere. A glance at an event becomes a headline. A skipped interview becomes proof. A late-night rap becomes a metaphor. But beneath the noise, the core remains unchanged. They are apart for now, yes. They are quiet, yes. And they are still, in small ways visible to anyone who pays attention, connected. Ebru's calm is not coldness, it's a shield. Akın's reserve is not indifference, it's a boundary against scattershot narratives. If they were ready to announce something permanent, they would. Instead, they are letting days pass and letting their feelings settle. That, more than anything, suggests a choice made thoughtfully. What happens next depends on what time and honest talk reveal. Some fans imagine the first photo together after all of this, a soft caption, a simple image, a mutual smile. Others expect an official statement sent out in the afternoon, in measured words, drawing a respectful line under a chapter that mattered. In either case, the affection would not be erased, it would be acknowledged. Until then, the best clue we have is the one that started the speculation: a pause. Pauses can be preludes or conclusions. They can also be a way to protect something from being dragged into the glare before it has a chance to heal. For a couple as watched as these two, pausing might be the only way to keep their story theirs. We've reached the same point we began with, only more aware of the textures in between. The long nights, the measured captions, the quiet entrances and exits, the mutual following that refuses to turn into a public cut. There is no definitive explanation for how they arrived here, only familiar reasons made heavy by fame. Work can be a gift and a thief. Love can be a harbor and a challenge. And people who are kind and intense, like Akın and Ebru, can find it hard to talk when words feel too sharp. So they've chosen space for now, and in that space, 100 stories bloom that none of us can confirm. That is the truth of this moment, and that is why the question remains open. This is where we leave it for today. The whispers will continue, the eyes will stay fixed, and sooner or later, one of them will speak. Until then, we will listen for the quiet signs, the subtle shifts, the gentle returns that so often tell the real story. Thank you for watching Turkish Spotlight Secrets. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and share so more people can join us the next time we pull back the curtain. Goodbye for now.